Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the Oracle of the UFC.
I'm joking. It is I, the Oracle of the UFC, and today I will be sharing with you the prophecies that I am bestowing, the visions that I have received, the names that have been told to me, and the events in which I have seen from visions received from the UFC gods, the MMA gods themselves. I want you all to know that I do not change the truth. I speak it how I see it. I will not alter the truth even if I am wrong, and that I received these visions 4 days ago. So some parts of the prophecies that I will be sharing with you today, one part is already incorrect. However, I did not go back and change it because that is not who I am. I represent the truth. I represent confidence. So all of these prophecies will take place at most in 2.5 years. So by November 15th, 2027, I want you all to return to this video and see in which the effectiveness my prophecies have unfolded. But I want you to know that I will be right. And I want you to know that it is okay to be scared of the truth and to be scared of the fact that I can see it. But I want you all to know that you can trust me and that your favorite fighters are in good hands with the UFC Oracle. Prophecy number 1. We have Merab Dvalishvili will be taking on Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, keep smoking. I will keep training. We'll see who's better. Yep. He's going to defeat Sean O'Malley in their second title fight. As we know, he won the first title fight against Sean O'Malley, but he will defeat him in the second one again. And then his next defense will be against Corey Sandhagen, in which Corey Sandhagen will win. And Corey Sandhagen will become the next bantamweight champion. Sean O'Malley will then face Petr Yan in a 5-round rematch in which Petr Yan will defeat Sean O'Malley and Sean O'Malley will fall into obscurity. Corey Sandhagen's first title defense will be against Petr Yan, in which Corey Sandhagen will win, successfully defending the belt and getting his win back against Petr Yan. Next prophecy. Yuri Prohaska will face Carlos Ulberg and defeat Carlos Ulberg. Magomed Ankalaev will defend his light heavyweight championship against Yuri Prohaska, in which Yuri Prohaska will win. And then Yuri will then defend his belt at some point against Dominic Reyes. At some point. I don't know when. And I do not know who is going to win this. Okay? The nature of Pereira's activity in the light heavyweight division will be unknown. Okay? I don't know if he's fighting. I don't know if he's retired. I don't know if he's taking a break. I don't know if he's injured. I just know that I did not see him in any of the visions I received from the MMA gods, the UFC gods. Next prophecy. Rainier de Ridder, one double champion, is going to defeat Robert Whittaker, which breaks my heart because Robert Whittaker is my second favorite fighter. Dricus du Plessis will face against Khamzat Chimaev, and he will defeat Khamzat Chimaev in round 4. Potentially with the help of Craig Jones. He will be training the specifics with Craig Jones. I believe that Dricus du Plessis is going to enlist the help of Craig Jones, second best grappler on the planet. And he will use Craig Jones' assistance to defeat Khamzat Chimaev. And then he will defend his belt against Rainier de Ridder after RDR defeats Whittaker. And then Dricus will retain the belt. However, the fight will be voted by the fans as Fight of the Year. Prophecy number 4. Alexander Volkanovski will defend his belt against Movsar Evloev, and he will win. Alexander Volkanovski will then defend his belt against a force at featherweight that we would not expect. I did not know who it was, but it is somebody we're not going to see coming. And it will be one of the greatest fights. It will be super close and it'll be a great fight, but Volk will still win. And he will retire as one of the greatest fighters of all time. With a then vacant featherweight title on the line, Diego Lopez and Gene Silva will fight for the vacant featherweight title, in which Diego Lopez will win and Diego Lopez will become the next featherweight champion. Now, onto the strong prophecies. The ones I was listing before are prophecies that I'm not super sure about. They were a tiny bit hazy as I was receiving them. However, these next prophecies are all but set in stone. The visions in which I received were the most clear I've ever received. Now, next prophecy. Alexandre Pantoja will stay at flyweight. He will not move up to bantamweight to challenge Merab. And he will defend at some point against Brandon Moreno. He will beat Brandon Moreno a fourth time. And then he will defend against people like Kai Kara France, Manel Kape, and Tatsuro Taira. This is in no particular order, by the way. And then he will retire as one of the most underappreciated champions. In other news, Muhammad Mokaev will be re-signed into the flyweight division. These are all visions that I know will occur. Prophecy number 6. Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira will fight for an interim belt. So I got part of this wrong. They will fight for an interim belt. And I could very well have gone back and changed this. However, for the sake of my credibility as an oracle, I want you to know that I did not go back and change this because I speak the truth. I do not alter the truth. I am fine with being incorrect. However, I am confident in which the outcomes of these fights will occur. They will fight for an interim belt in which Ilia will win and become the interim champ. Now, we know that he will not be the interim champ. He will, in fact, just be the next lightweight champion. So I got part of that wrong. But that's okay, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to go back and change things and lie to you all about the visions I received. I want you to know that I'm credible and I'm trustworthy. Next prophecy. Tom Aspinall versus John Jones will never happen. Will never happen. John Jones will retire, and Tom Aspinall will become the next UFC heavyweight champion by winning the vacant belt. Which breaks my heart to say, because this fight is exciting, but it's never going to happen. Next prophecy. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena will happen. Islam will move up to 170, and he will lose against Jack Della Maddalena. Islam will then return back down to 155 to defend, well, now we know, to challenge against Topuria, in which Topuria will finish Islam. And Islam will no longer be in the conversation of one of the greatest of all time. And by the time that this happens, by the time that Islam is finished by Ilia Topuria, Volkanovski, Topuria, and Jack Della Maddalena will all be champions. This is a key detail. Prophecy number 9, the final prophecy. Craig Jones, the second best grappler on the planet, will be recognized as the force responsible for defeating and figuring out the heavy wrestling and sambo style of both the Dagestani fighters and of the least entertaining fighters in the UFC. We will see the specific examples of why Craig Jones was responsible in what we already know as Jack Della Maddalena versus Bilal Muhammad. We will see it in Volkanovski versus Evloev, in which Volkanovski will enlist the help of Craig Jones once again to help train specifics against Evloev. We'll see it in JDM versus Bilal, like I said, and also in JDM versus Islam. And we will see it with the potential help of Craig Jones in Dricus du Plessis against Khamzat Chimaev. And we will no longer be burdened by the force of wrestling and sambo in the UFC. That's all. I want you to reflect on this video come November 15th, 2027. And you will see that all of these prophecies have come to fruition and that they were all correct, except for the interim belt. That's all.